Rolex is one of the most recognized watch brands today. Almost anyone on the street can name Rolex as a luxury watch. But what about Tudor? Tudor is the more affordable sibling company to Rolex, and for nearly 100 years, Tudor has happily played second fiddle to the flagship Rolex brand. Let's take a closer look at the comparison between Tudor vs Rolex for your better understand. Now, let's start the video. About Tudor vs Rolex. Ever since Tudor burst back onto the international watch scene, comparison between it and its sibling company Rolex have abounded. Tudor timepiece was always openly intended as a more affordable option and enjoyed a rich history of its own until the brand wound down distribution. The brand is stopping sales of its watches in the United States completely, largely due to slumping sales and a loss of direction. However, that all changed with the brand's relaunch, which started and has continued to gather momentum ever since. Key differences between Rolex and Tudor. Rolex initially built its now legendary reputation on the shoulders of its robust and water-resistant oyster case. In the past, Tudor was able to achieve its more modest price point by using generic movements and Rolex-manufactured case components. The mechanisms used in Tudor watches were more or less identical to those found inside timepieces from several other manufacturers. Their Rolex-manufactured cases ensured that they would still offer the same degree of water resistance and durability as their higher-priced siblings. Modern vs vintage aesthetics. Both the Rolex Sea Dweller and the Tudor Pelagos are modern and technologically advanced mechanical dive watches with a touch of vintage design inspiration. Both watches have self-winding, chronometer-certified in-house movements with 70-hour power reserves, and both have scratch-resistant ceramic bezel inserts and sapphire crystals. Similar but different. Since Rolex and Tudor's management are in lockstep, the two brands will never be in direct competition with one another. However, Rolex occupies an increasingly more luxury-oriented position within the high-end timepiece market. Tudor is perfectly positioned to cater to the numerous buyers for whom a Rolex may now be slightly out of their price range. A new Tudor brand for a new age. Rolex founder, Hans Wilsdorf, started the Tudor Watch Company. The vision of creating a brand that could offer the same standard of dependability for which Rolex was famous, but at a more modest and affordable price point. Today, nearly a full century later, Tudor is closer to realizing that vision than ever before. Tudor's latest generation of watches with in-house movements is now just a couple steps behind the flagship offerings from its legendary parent company. Tudor vs Rolex. Which is better? Tudor is better. Tudor succeeded where the others failed for one key reason. Wilsdorf allowed them to be promoted as an actual Rolex product, while he had previously kept the other sub-brands as separate entities. This meant that the lower-priced watches could be sold by Rolex's network of authorized dealers, but the core idea behind them all was the same. The idea was a Rolex watch for less money than an actual Rolex. What should you buy, Rolex or Tudor? In the end, Rolex and Tudor both manufacture some of the very best watches on the market in their respective price brackets. Rolex has an irreproachable history and a legacy that few other watch brands can touch. Conversely, Tudor is the more adventurous, the more avant-garde, and the value for money factor of its watches is exceptional. Now it's your turn. Which one impresses you the most? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, do share and subscribe to our channel for further video notifications.